Welcome back, disciples, to the final episode of season 1. Yes, we made it. 10 episodes in, and somehow I haven't been cancelled by my mother, my ancestors, or Stan Twitter. Growth. Remember episode 1 when I gave you my origin story? Today we're doing it again. Except this time I'm not the same person. In 5 months, I've gone through enough character development arcs to qualify as a Netflix limited series. And no, I will not be crying at 3 a.m. over a K-drama breakup scene. This time, I'll be crying at 3 a.m. over my own healing. Character development is expensive like that. The spark for this episode, a Japanese philosophy book I stumbled across during my late afternoon walks that are technically exercise but mostly me avoiding responsibility. At first, I didn't take it seriously. Then one day, the words slapped me so hard I nearly collapsed on the pavement like a Victorian maiden. The book, The Courage To Be Disliked. And yes, I know, the title alone feels like a subtweet aimed directly at me. Today, we're diving into self-image, inferiority and superiority complexes, and the dark art of setting friendship standards, because if all problems are interpersonal, then your friends are either your foundation or the termites eating it from underneath. And mine, let's just say I fired the termites. Inferiority, Superiority, and Teleology. This book dragged me, and like Adler really said,
"Get on the floor, you loser. Your ego needs therapy."
But here's the tea. Feeling inferior is human. Living in an inferiority complex is self-sabotage. It's not I want B, so I'll work towards A. It's I don't have A, so I'll never deserve B. It's basically ghosting your own potential. The wild part, those voices saying you're not good enough aren't even yours. They're reruns of other people's insecurities playing on your mental flat screen. Tell me, Luz, whose voice do you hear when you doubt yourself? Is it even yours, or are you living on borrowed echoes? For me, those echoes started early. Playground jokes weren't jokes, and eventually I started agreeing with them, not because I was actually inferior, but because staying small felt safer. So I put on masks. I people-pleased by day, and I was a superiority queen by night. But superiority isn't confidence, it's just insecurity in couture. Bullies, mean girls, even that bossy inner critic, they're just wearing trauma with designer labels. My superiority drag era. During one of my walks, I realized I had been living inside a superiority complex for years, like from my 9th grade through my first year of university. 4 to 5 years of I'm smarter than you energy. And the thing is, I was smart. People always told me that, but it didn't feel like a compliment because I just loved reading and studying. To me, it was saying, congratulations on breathing oxygen. But here's where it twisted. When I felt inferior, I leaned on that label of smart. I became people's personal Google, correcting them, showing off knowledge, turning every interaction into a trivia night. Meanwhile, people exploited me. They let me carry group projects because they knew I'd overcompensate. And inside, I was still insecure, still feeling small, just hiding behind a wall of encyclopedias. What is your armor? The thing that you overuse to hide the broken parts. Because eventually, I had to learn the power of saying no. No, I will not be finishing your half-done project. No, I am not your fact-checking machine. And no, superiority doesn't heal inferiority. It just buries it alive. My turning point. I had to learn someone else's glow doesn't dim my own. Criticism says more about the critic than it does about me. Equality isn't some utopian slogan, it's survival. So I stopped begging for permission slips to exist. That's why I started this podcast. That's why I wore what I wanted, even if it wasn't the perfect body check. I did my makeup however I felt. No TED Talk required. And yes, I shaved my eyebrows after 3 years of hesitation because I am insane like that. Also, I'm unshakably hot. The Eyebrow Story. So, I've always wanted to shave them since my first year of university, but back then my partner shamed me out of it. She said, "That's crazy. What will people think of me dating someone with no eyebrows?" And that stuck. Her voice lived rent free in my head every time about it. Fast forward to this year, I got out of the shower, looked in the mirror, and said, "Fuck it." I grabbed my razor, and then boom, eyebrows were gone. At first, I was shocked. I could still hear my ex's insults echoing, crazy, ugly, embarrassing. But then came silence, and in that silence, my own voice finally got through. "You look so hot. You look so free. You look like fucking you." Tell me, Delirious, what decision are you putting off because you're hearing someone else's voice instead of your own? For me, it was not trusting myself. And through this book, Teleology whispered to me, trust yourself a little more. Because every time you outsource your decisions, you build an Airbnb out of your self worth, and people will most definitely trash it. Friendship standards. The glow up wasn't just personal, it was social. I stopped accepting anyone with a pulse as a friendship criteria and actually wrote my standards like commandments. But before the standards came, there was pain. The picnic story. Let me take you back to one of the most heartbreaking things I've experienced as a person. I have multiple, I just want to put it out there. I've been traumatized a fair share of times by people, but this is the one that I've never been able to admit to myself because I just felt embarrassed about it. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. Let me just say it out loud and prove to that pain that it doesn't have much power over me at all because I am grown and I am much more better now. That small pain that they caused to me back then, I'm not longer that little girl who was crying. I am much more stronger now. So, here's the story. Back in grade 8, my school hosted a sunset picnic. At first, I really didn't want to go. I was hanging in the balance like, do I? Don't I? But my friends, who by the way I came with from primary school, said they wanted to go. So I was like, okay, cool, let's go. It was the first high school event, so I said, yeah, let's do it. We agreed to meet there, different cars, same spot. I got there at 6 p.m. My parents dropped me off and I waited and waited and waited. By 7:30, no one came. I sat alone watching other kids laugh, eat, dance, like a movie scene where the whole world glows except for you. I finally called my parents crying, asking them to come pick me up. The next day, my friends said nothing, no apology, no explanation. And me? I said nothing back because I was scared of losing friends. That silence was me telling myself I didn't deserve better. That moment taught me how much loneliness hurts, but also how much worse it feels to betray yourself by staying quiet. Because according to Adler, loneliness isn't just about feeling alone, it's about feeling left out when you are surrounded by others. Tell me, Delulus, when was the last time you stayed silent when you should have demanded more? Now, let's move on to my standards because, like I said, I have been traumatized a fair share of amount of times, and because of that, I was able to come up with these standards. My core pillars are trust, honesty, care, respect, and no lopsided energy. For the emotional vibe check, I need friends who can handle my too much without flinching. I would prefer consistency over convenience, check ins, birthday texts, the basics. Space and boundaries need to be respected. I do not want to feel guilty for needing alone time. Realness is an absolute yes. No fake energy, no passive aggressive shade. Silence should feel like a hug, not an interrogation. Shared growths are something that should be mutual. We need to celebrate our wins. We need to evolve with each other. We should not be competing against each other, and we should not be evolving against each other. Hard no's for me are jealousy, mockery, and energy vampires. Now, when I say mockery, I mean putting the other person down. We can tease each other. I do not mind that. But willingly going out of your way to try and bruise my ego and hurt my feelings is a no. Writing these down reminded me I do not need to water myself down to keep a friendship alive. If the plant dies without my overwatering, it was meant to wither. Unhinged Confessions. Because healing isn't always need boundaries and self love, it's also breakdowns and chaos. Like the night I watched Donnie Darko. By the way, go listen to episode 9 where I talk about that movie. It's really one of the best things I've ever watched. Probably the best movie I've watched this entire year. Back to the point. While I was watching the movie, it didn't hit me that much, but when the jet engine crushed Donnie, I broke in the middle of the night. I was looking at my ceiling, sobbing. My phone was off, and my tears were just rolling with no end. That was the night I realized if I don't trust myself, no one else will. Radical self trust had to begin. Or this one. I've been saying for years that shaking ass is therapy. Many people have laughed, many people thought I was being silly until I found research saying women hold stress in their hips. So, yes, I am a genius. Twerking is healing. Is it unhinged? Maybe. But is it effective? Absolutely. What is your unhinged healing ritual? And if you don't have one, maybe it's time to invent one. Closing thoughts. So here we are, the end of season 1. No neat little bows, just boundaries, healing, and a reminder that being unhinged is sometimes the healthiest option. To my disciples, thank you. To the ones who DM me memes after episodes, to the ones who stream while doing laundry, to the ones who've stuck with me through tears, laughs, and eyebrow updates, you're the real saints. If today's episode spoke to you, follow me everywhere for updates, support the podcast on Ko-Fi, or commission a poem from me on Fiverr. And if you're desperate while I'm on break, I'll still be in your ears via POV Music in My Ears, my side channel where I turn feelings into playlist. A little bit of a warning, I have a wide variety of music taste, so do not be shocked to hear a lot of songs that you didn't think would belong together. Also, I would love for you guys to go over there and subscribe and listen to my playlist. I'm not much one for making playlists, but I've spent so much time curating these playlists just for you, just to convey how I felt in that certain moment. And I hope that even if you don't listen to a certain genre, you will be able to be open-minded enough to listen to it, and maybe, just maybe, I might introduce you to your new favorite artist or your new favorite song. Season 1 has been chaotic, emotional, and unexpectedly holy. Thank you for riding this wave with me. I'll see you in season 2. Sharper, softer, stronger, and yes, even more delightfully unhinged. Signed, Her Most Unruly Holiness, High Priestess of the Cult of Conscious, Saint of Spirals and Overanalysis, Mange, aka your favorite emotionally intelligent menace.